back to Wildwood Cottage. It's a bit cold. The sun's out, but it's a bit cold. I just thought I'd say hello today and show you what I've been up to in the garden, because I've been quite busy. I've started doing those beds that I wanted to widen, so I just thought I'd show you where I was up to. I'm going to go and see the chickens as well and take the chickens some porridge. I mean, look how beautiful it is today, isn't it lovely? You, go on Puddles. And you, go on in Grace, and you Grace. Come on Pippa. My roses seem to be alright. I've got some new growth on my rose just here. I've got some new growth coming through here already. And look, I've got new growth coming through on these. So this is my Tottering by Gently. My David Austin one. It's a lovely yellow colour. But all this border here needs sorting out. And my plan is to come out and do some dividing. And separate some of the plants, because I mean I've got this big daisy here and it's huge. It's only a small bed and I don't want it overcrowded. I want to be able to see everything and enjoy everything. So the grass needs tidying up along here. This is the bed under the window to the sitting room. There's another daisy there that needs sorting out. These were the anti-rhinums, the snapdragons, and they've done really well. They were out the wildflower mix. There's another daisy there. I've got an azalea hiding there, so I'm just going to get my cup of tea. Right, so this border here needs sorting out. This is my little frog pond down here. It's only a painter's bucket, but it looks like it could do with a bit of a clean out. I've got irises at the back. I've got flag iris there. This is my little boggy bit. I've got quite a lot of irises in here that I need to fish out and see what they're doing. And I may put them in pots to see how they get on. I've got some geraniums in these terracotta pots here, and they need redoing. I've got quite a bit of this, which is Dyer's chamomile, so that needs dividing. I've got another one here, which has rooted itself, that needs planting. So I bought a load of irises from Thompson & Morgan, all sorts of different ones, last year. So I want to try and fish them out of here and put them in pots and see what grows, see how they get on. So that's it in there really. There's a comfrey here and a red vein sorrel. And then this all needs sorting out as well, because this is just a mess. All the grass is growing back, and I got rid of all the grass, but it just seems to have come back. So there's heathers along there that need trimming, and some brambles that need taking out. And then over this side here, this is a eucalyptus, so that needs sorting out. So I'm going to cut the top off, even though it's got all this lovely growth on it, but it's getting some really nice growth down the bottom. So I'm thinking of sacrificing this at the top and putting it in the dye pot and letting it grow up a bit more down the bottom. It gives a lovely orange colour in the dye pot. And then down here I've got a purple geranium, so that needs planting up. That's been in that box since we moved in. And then all this geranium here needs sorting out. This is my rolled doll again. Look, spring growth on it already. So that needs tidying up. This azalea needs moving really, it's in the wrong place. It's just not doing anything. I thought it might fill that hole there. but it just doesn't seem very happy. So this is what I've been doing. You can see I've widened the bed so it's straight along the path, and then on that side I've brought that bed out as well. Now I don't want it to look like a park garden, so I'm not going to put stones around it, I'm just going to leave it. And the plants that you can see where that red post is there, they're all going to be brought forward this way, and the bench is going to stay where it is, and I've shaped it just to come around the bench, so when you're sat at the bench you're going to have all the flowers in front of you. So this side needs doing now, which I might do this afternoon, but it needs widening out a bit. You can sort of see the line which I'm going to follow, and bring it right the way round down to the path, and then take it back round again. So that's going to finish this part of the garden off, and all the waste grass hasn't gone to waste. I put it along my path to try and raise the level of my path and stop it getting so waterlogged. So it's a bit rickety at the moment, it's a bit up and down, but I just keep piling grass on it until it's the level that I want it, so along that bit there. So yeah, it's looking quite good, it's looking a lot better than it was. But in this border here, there's also things that I want to divide. I want to divide up this Michaelmas daisy and put that around the garden. I got that off my mum and dad when they moved house. And that lived in a pot for years, but it's got its own spot now, so I want to divide that. I've got this plant here which I think is one of those ones, it's like a fairy leaf and it's got pink flower on it, and it's a beautiful one, so I'm going to divide that as well, and we're going to move that. I've got my lupin to sort out, I might see if I can divide that up. I've got tons and tons of this Achillea stuff. I got it off Thompson & Morgan, and it's just spreading everywhere, and it clumps up really densely, so I want to move that as well and put that up the top of the garden. I have got aces which I can't see at the moment, so a lot of it's under the ground at the moment, so it's difficult to tell what to move. This one here is a Rudbeckia. So I'm going to divide that up, and I'm going to put that around the garden as well. I've got these dead looking things here are called Linkless, I think, and they're a yellow bellflower. There's loads of it around here, it grows quite wild here in Wales, so I'm going to move that. This as well is phlox. There's about 2 or 3 different types of phlox in that bit, that clump there, so I'm going to try dividing that up. Right, so down here somewhere is a plant called an acanthus, which has a big red spike, big spike that comes out with purpley coloured flowers on, so that needs to be moved, but at the moment I can't see it. It's gone underground with the winter, so I need to try and get all these hedge clippings up because I did the hedge the other day. This aster here needs moving because it's in the wrong place. It doesn't grow any taller than that. So I'm thinking of putting the Rudbeckia there and putting that where the Rudbeckia is. This is more of that Achillea. There's loads of it, so I need to do something with that. I've got lots of primroses that need moving as well. And I also here put some lavender, and they don't seem to be here. So I'm assuming that they died. And haven't done anything, so yeah, can't find them, can't see them, so I assume that they've gone with all that frost that we had. I've got coreopsis here and here, so hopefully they're going to come back. Got some more of that flower with the pink head on it, and these geraniums here, there's a geranium there and there's some dotted along there as well. I'm going to have them along this new border edge here, and it's going to be pink, white, pink, white, pink, white all the way along, because I used to have that on my allotment and it was really, really pretty. I've done a video about it, about this border before, and I showed pictures of what it looked like on the allotment. So I'm going to do the same thing along here, and I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video. It'll be in the little eye thing in the corner of the video. So that needs, all that needs moving. And then around here I've got this broom flower here, which are called dyer's broom. I'm not sure if it is. It's a weld. It's got a yellow flower on it, and he used that in a dye pot. But this is big enough now for me to divide it, so I'm going to divide that as well. I've got an aster here that needs moving, that needs dividing. It needs to be at the back of the border really, it's in the wrong place. I've got penstemon here. This is a penstemon which has got some new growth at the bottom, so it looks like it's going to come back. My rose is doing really well. And I've got this rudbeckia that needs moving. This is a carnation I got off my mum, so I'm going to see if we can do some cuttings off that and keep that going. And then over here there's this lungwort, which is really, really pretty. As you can see, it's got pink flowers and purple flowers, and they change colour through the season, so I really want to have that around the garden a little bit more. I've got another penstemon, and then behind that here is an azalea. It's called geisha orange, and it just doesn't seem to be doing anything there, so I want to bring that forward and bring that forward in the border, because now I've done all this extra bit, I can bring things out from under the trees, under those shrubs, and hopefully they'll do better. So that's my plan for that. This is an eryngium, so I'm hoping that's going to bulk up, and then I can divide that and put that round the garden. I've got some more primulas there that can be divided up. And then along here, this was a beautiful red daisy, but the frost seems to have got it, and it's not doing so well, so I'm hoping it's going to come back because it's really pretty. I found all these as well, these aquilegia in the soil the other day when I was doing the lawn, so I'm hoping I can divide them and put them around the place. I've got a hebe just at the back there, which looks like it's a bit bedraggled with all the frost, but that doesn't grow any taller than 75 centimetres, so I'm hoping to bring that out a bit so we can see that. This one here, the birds seem to like. It has pink flowers on it, but they seem to eat the flowers for some reason. Don't know whether because they hold a lot of water, but it has rooted itself just there, so I need to take that cutting and put that in a pot. And then we've got more of that achillea there as well, which just doesn't seem to, it just bulks out and does its thing, but it needs spreading out around the garden. I've got another lupin just here, that's to keep the slugs off, so hopefully that's going to come back. I think these ones are potentilla. Let's have a look. Yeah, potentilla. This is one I bought for our wedding anniversary. It's a yellow one. And it looks like it's going to come back. It's got some lovely green growth on it, so that's handy. Bought that for our 25th wedding anniversary. And then there's this one, which is an orange one. This was a pound plant I got in B&Q. And it seems to come back every year, so that's doing really well. And I've widened this border now and put all the grass here to level off my path. Now that you can see, but all the buds on the magnolia, and some of them are starting to open already. But they're a bit high up in the tree for me to show you. But yeah, I put the grass that I took out along here, I put here, and now that's levelled off the path there, because the water comes down here and it's got its own little run, so I've hired it now, and hopefully that's going to make it easier for mowing the grass. And then here I've done another border, which is where the oil tank is, and I've got a rose, which is this one here, and as you can see, it's got loads of green growth on it, and this is a rambling rector, so I'm going to move it from here because it's in the way, and I'm going to pop it there, and then I can grow it up the fence here, and then maybe put a little arch here and grow it over the top and cover the oil tank with it, because it grows about 15 foot, so it'll be ideal. Now, it's also going to be easier for cutting the grass as well, because the grass isn't going to be up against the screen that I made, so looking a bit rickety really. It looks like it could be done with being rebuilt, but never mind. And then along here this is where the new paths are going to be going, and it's going to be, let me just come back under the rose arch. It's going to narrow off, and then it's going to be a windy path, then takes you to the barn, which is where my new workroom is going to be eventually. And then along on this side here, I've got roses and fruit. Now the fruit I want to cover with netting because the birds stripped the lot off it last year and I didn't get any. So it defeats the object of having a food forest if the birds are going to get it first. So I need to sort it out so that I can put netting, like little teepees round it with netting on. But then my roses, which I've got about 5 of, I've got this one, which is abundance. And then I've got this one, which is peace. This one was the elderly gentleman's. He did want me to throw that away, but I won't throw anything away unless it's dead. And it's got green shoots on it, so that's staying. And then this one is a yellow one. And then over there, on that arch there, I have got a sorry for itself jasmine. So I really need to do something else with that area there. But this is where my workshop's going to be eventually, when I fix the barn and put a roof on it, and doors and windows and a floor. But I don't think that'll be this year. That green there is a pergola that's going to be put outside the front door. Either there or down the bottom there through the arch in the woodland bit, and then I make a covered area to sit when it's raining so we can sit in the garden. And then along here, I haven't widened this yet, but it is going to be widened in that kind of shape to take you back down to the rose arch. So yeah, it's coming together. I have got some fruit in here, so what I was thinking of doing was building a mini fruit area, put some fruit bushes in, and it's going to be tucked back out the way of the flowers, because the flowers are going to be towards the front of the border here. And then I could have like a little fruit cage at the back there. This is a wisteria, and I did find a cutting for that last year, so I'm just hoping that it's still there, because as you can see, it's trailed itself down into the soil. So I'm hoping there's some cuttings in there, because I like wisteria. And then along here there's more fruit and fruit trees. So I'm hoping they're going to perk up, because last year they didn't do very well at all. But the soil's not very good here, so I really need to improve the soil. But yeah, this one's fell over in the wind, so that needs putting back in. I think that one there at the back is a plum tree. I know I've got a plum and a damson. That rather gnarly one here was the elderly gentleman's. This came out when we had to move it for the oil tank, and it's never really recovered. It did have green shoots on it towards the bottom here, but it's never really done anything. I'm just hoping it's going to come back, because apparently it was a sentimental bush to him, but it looks like it's dead. But it's a white mulberry, so I'm going to leave it another year and see if it comes back. If it comes back in the summer, then hopefully I'll be able to cut all the dead stuff off and encourage the new growth. So we'll just have to see. And then along the back fence line, there, I've got a rhododendron there, and I've got one there and one there, and that big tall one came out when the oil tank was put in. So yeah, unfortunately there was a lot that had to be moved that didn't do very well. I think that's pretty much it that I can show you today. So I'll show you when I've divided the plants and what I managed to get out, and I'll show you once I've finished doing the soil here, because I think I'm going to carry on with that this afternoon now the sun's out. It'll be quite nice to be able to work in the garden. So I'm just going to go and get my gloves, and I'll show you when I finish the paths up here, and we move on to the next step. So I hope you've enjoyed the little mini trip around my garden, and that you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next time. So take care, enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now, bye bye.